Oh, no, I was enrolling kids.
Oh.
Now they're all in it. Except for one.
Test.
Oh, yeah. I'm testing. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
How do these things work together?
And lose away.
Yes. Does anyone on the board need technical plans? Okay, we'll wait for that. Let us know. We will start in a moment.
It will automatically take it.
You good? Anyone else? Everybody's good to go?
Sure.
And Karen, there's an icon on there with an X through the microphone. You're gonna need your readers to see it though. One click to turn it on.
Got it.
Once it's on, you just keep clicking that button to be mute, unmute, and the icon appears.
There it is.
You got it? Cool.
Thank you. I need it.
Hello.
Okay, I
come
call
back to
to
you.
order at this time. Could I ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. All right, this evening we have board quorum, but we are missing two board members. Ms. Nicole King and Ms. Mary Jo Reinhardt could not be with us this evening. Next I'll move on to visitor comments. We do have visitor comments. When you come up to the microphone, you'll need to turn it on by holding the button down until that green light lights up on the microphone. I have, and Mr. Robot is helping us with that task right now, so thank you. I have Charu Chaturvedi.
All right, thank you. I'm here in support of the motion to approve a first LEGO League team for 4th to 6th graders at the IS. I'm a parent of 3 kids in the district and a chemical engineer. I've seen firsthand how STEM skills and education can open up many career paths and also aid in developing critical thinking, collaboration, and creativity. I worked with parents last year to create the robotics team. They had a great experience, placed first in robot design, and received the Rising Star Award. We're not asking for any budget or faculty help, just the ability to compete as Southern Lehigh and use school space if needed. They will also provide access to other students that wanted to get involved. This is just one example, though, of how our district can easily add more STEM activities, clubs, and competitions for students. There's also a similar chess team proposal for 7th and 8th graders that I hope will make it to the agenda soon and receive approval for this year as well. Southern Lehigh used to be a leader in the area of innovative programs that help kids explore academic extracurricular interests. Compared to what other school districts around us offer to their 1st to 8th graders, we offer very little right now. I understand the high school allows students and faculty to create clubs and receive funding. However, we need programs that allow younger students to explore potential interests so that when they get to high school, they can go deeper in those interest areas. But the process for doing these activities at the middle, IS, and elementary school levels is very complicated. Last year, as noted in emails I've sent to the superintendent and the board, I spent a significant amount of time trying to bring back programs we used to offer or should offer to be on par with other districts. None of the programs suggested relied on school budget or school faculty. While working with the principals, many administrative obstacles and inconsistent processes were revealed. In some cases, I utilized community spaces and marketing channels to still make the programs happen. We were lucky to harness some of the amazing community resources, parents with technical backgrounds, local organizations interested in collaborating, and high school students that were excited to help. The students even created a monthly free STEAM club for the kids at the library. In general, I'm asking the administration and board to facilitate opportunities to engage in problem solving and put streamlined processes in place so the district can have more STEM and academic extracurricular programs available to kids in 1st through 8th grade. It takes months before a program can be put on the school board agenda. So I ask, how can we fast track the approval process when parents are willing to pilot a program that can be set up quickly and employ a build it and they will come approach? There are 2 types of these. No budget, no faculty needed. The parents organize it, take care of coaching. If funding is needed, they add a reasonable registration fee to cover costs and have group fundraising for additional costs and financial scholarships. They just need school space for practices, an opportunity to compete as Southern Lehigh, and a way to make families aware. The current flyer distribution system is only for official not-for-profits and board-approved activities, which, as noted, can take months. The second type is for activities that can benefit from a faculty sponsor. Can we look into providing stipends for faculty interested in STEM and academic extracurricular activities with practices after school or in the evenings? This creates support and motivation. We do this for sports activities, and I believe the Education Foundation used to provide these types of stipends for teachers with special interests in academic areas. We have an amazing community here in Southern Lehigh with students that have multifaceted interests. I believe we can create pathways for them to explore those interests, challenge themselves outside the classroom, and become better prepared for the world around us. I hope the approval today of the robotics team will be just the start of more of these programs coming to our community for 1st through 8th graders. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. That is the only visitor comment I have this evening, unless someone in the audience missed you. Seeing none, I'll move on to the rest of our agenda. I have item 3, superintendent updates. Dr. Mann.
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Gaiman. I have a very brief report on some of the, since we're on the cusp of starting the 24-25 school year, I thought I would just go over very briefly a few of the exciting initiatives, not in detail, and we'll certainly talk about these in greater detail as the year goes on, but just highlighting a few, and I have them in the presentation, which should be at your places. So again, the first is that we are going to be welcoming back the students on August 26th, the first student day of school. On the 19th, a week today, our brand new teachers who were hired here for district the first time will be coming for their orientation, followed by welcoming back of our entire professional staff. And I will tell you that most of them have not left. With the work they've done in the classroom over the summer and being around and being engaged. So it's officially welcoming them back, although they really have not left. And again, it's a very exciting time in the school year. So just highlighting a few things. First, we do have the Lego robotics on the program, on the board to be approved tonight. I want to acknowledge the hard work of the parent groups and our administrative team in putting together a plan that is, again, also listed, that is comprehensive and thoughtful, and we look for really exciting things to happen with the Lego robotics team. Also this year, in a related way, we'll be looking at the new science standards. Pennsylvania is adopting, and we have to implement the new science standards by the 25-26 school year. We have been preparing for some time now, and we're very excited to say that we'll be piloting some of the new science standards in our classrooms. Dr. Trinkle and Dr. Solometto, in cooperation with our staff, has picked out some materials that we think will be very well suited in this process. We're going to have, as is so often the case, teacher leaders stepping up to help participate in this process and lead their colleagues as we move into this initiative. So you'll be hearing more about that for sure. Also, another major initiative that we're on the brink of implementing. We've already switched over, but we're moving to a new student information system this year, Infinite Campus. The transition has required a tremendous amount of time and effort from our staff. In this entire presentation, I'm only calling out one name, and that name is Kelly Katzbach, a member of our professional staff, who has just remarkably stepped up and taken on a leadership role in this process. But beyond Kelly, we have teachers in every building who have volunteered their time and their effort to be team leaders and problem solvers in this. Mr. Sturgis in the back has been working very hard, even over this weekend, making last-minute adjustments. So this is a big thing, but I think it's a very positive thing. We're confident there'll be a few glitches along the way, but we're equally confident that over time, this will improve pretty much every aspect of our operation as a school district. Also, during the 24-25 school year, we're going to be involved in planning, along with the technology committee and others, to find ways, the best ways to identify and distribute our student devices for the 25-26 school year. We will be working very hard this year with a representative from the University of Lehigh to identify ways to support our student service professionals, our nurses, our counselors, our social workers, and our external partners to better integrate their efforts in service to our students. As is often the case with the facility committee, we're going to have a number of ongoing maintenance projects with roofs and infrastructure, but we have two exciting projects to consider, and maybe there'll be more conversation about this tonight, with reimagining our high school library into a student-centered collaborative center, and also some considerations of how we might move forward with the Southern Lehigh High School auditorium. Two more. Well, actually, three more. We have dual enrollment. Over the past several years, we've substantially increased our opportunities for our students to earn college credit. This year, we're looking at the second semester of this year. We're working with Cedar Crest College, and our hope is to be able to offer 3 online courses in economics, psychology, and college writing composition, where our students could take these asynchronous courses and earn college credit at a cost of $200 for 3 credits. So a little, $67 per credit. And those costs, as are all the costs of dual enrollment, are covered by our foundation for any student and family who is covered by free and reduced lunch. So we're going to continue to try to expand that. And then on the topic of our Southern Lehigh Education Foundation, they are still very much engaged in trying to support our school district. They have committed again to fund the dual enrollment credits for free and reduced lunch. And they're hoping to launch a new effort to have innovative teacher grants, where a particular teacher, and even it was mentioned here before, where a teacher may have a plan or a thought about something innovative they would like to try with their class, take a field trip, no limit to the ideas. They would submit an application. It would be reviewed by administration to make sure it's practical. And then the foundation would very much hope to take the funds that they have been raising and apply them to assist teachers to do these innovative things that perhaps they might not have considered absent this funding. So it's kind of an exciting thing, and certainly we'll have more information as that unfolds, but we'd like to ask teachers to start considering submitting grants early in this school year. Okay, and then finally, and this is probably the biggest one, is that we're going to be exploring this year the feasibility of all-day kindergarten. We've already sent out a request for proposals. The board authorized us to do so. And during 24-25, we're going to be talking about what are the benefits of all-day kindergarten, what are the concerns associated with all-day kindergarten. There surely will be some. What are the budgetary impacts of all-day kindergarten? What impact will all-day kindergarten have on facilities and grade level alignments and other things that perhaps aren't even coming to mind right now? So we'll be spending a lot of time this upcoming year looking at this critically important question, maybe coming to some determinations as to directions to head, perhaps the development of action plans, and again, engaging in what has been a somewhat delayed, but I think very great conversation for this board and ultimately this community to have. So again, that's just kind of a thumbnail sketch of some of the exciting things we'll be looking to do for the 24-25 school year. You'll hear lots more, but I thought I'd take the occasion of our August meeting on the brink of the start of the year to just kind of highlight a few things. So with that, Mrs. Gaiman, thank you, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions about all that great news? No? All right, wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Mann.
Thank you.
Moving on, we have a number of items under curriculum, student, and staff services. I guess ultimately, if no one objects, I would like to take all of the curriculum, student, staff service items together. That's for A, B, C, and D. I'm sorry, just A, B, and C. Anyone object to that? Do you object to the?
No, oh, no, I was going to make a motion.
Oh, just, I'll get, thank you. So no one objects to that. Then, yes, I'll just, a motion to approve the CLIU annual agreement for Discovery Education streaming, for the CLIU Title I intergovernmental agreement, and the first LEGO League Challenge Robotics Team proposal for IS grades 4 through 6.
Motion to approve A, B, and C.
Thank you.
Second.
For A, B, and C.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Second from Ms. Cruz. Motion from Mr. Carney. Thank you very much. Any questions or additional commentary? Yes.
Well, so just reading these specifications, there are equal parent coaches, and then 5 students with 8 How will that work?
Right. First, the parents have been very enthusiastic about their willingness to participate. I mean, there is an upper limit based upon the number of adults who, in other words, the teams can't all practice together, right? So there would be separate teams, and there would be multiple teams. Yes. 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 Right. And they might end up competing with each other eventually, if I'm correct. Yes. So they stand independently. They'd be all representing Southern Lehigh. And if we had like catastrophic success and so many people coming out, there might, just as a practical issue, not be enough people to supervise the teams. But the parents have been so enthusiastic, we think that might not even be an issue. We are. That's certainly the hope. That's certainly the hope.
Any other questions about any of these items? I just had one question again about the Lego League. I understand this is not funded by the district with no faculty involvement, but facilities, they'll be able to use our facilities and kind of,
Yes.
will this be immediately after school, kind of for ease of, or they'll just set their own schedule?
Well, I mean, they'll coordinate their schedules, but if we have 4 or 5 teams, they'll all be kind of working together. And it may be, the teams will want to meet in a garage as, to kind of finalize their thing. We have, in fact, point out the importance of clearances and making sure that all of our procedures are followed, and to be flexible. But yes, they'll certainly be able to use our funding. And we're also going to look to see if we can try to find ways to help out in this, particularly in the first year, as there may be some greater expenses than in subsequent year when they have the initial supply. So we're going to try to see what we can do in that area to support the effort.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. Any other questions on any of these items? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Moving on to special education and student services, we have one item, the Student Assistance Program Liaison Services. It's an annual agreement with the Center for Humanistic Change for the school year. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve 5A.
Thank you, Mr. Carney. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Boyer, the second. Any questions or comments about this annual agreement? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? We don't have any items under technology or budget and finance at this meeting. Moving on to support services, we have a number of items. If no one objects, I'd like to take items 8A, B, and C together. Anyone object? I'll just list those now. We have 8A, Public School Facility Improvement Grant Program Resolution for Liberty Bell Elementary School. Public School Facility Improvement Grant Program Resolution for the Middle School Roof Project. And we have 3 change orders for the high school HVAC project. And I just want to thank our facilities folks for supervising this project, taking weekend hours to do so, and Mr. Pepe, who is here this evening, and Mr. Rohrbach, who is for overseeing the very necessary change order here. Sometimes life just happens, so that's what we're facing right now, and we really appreciate their extra hours and diligent work to get this up and running for our school year. Could I have a motion for these?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Boyer. And I heard, who has a second? Dr. Webb? Thank you, Dr. Webb, for the second. Any questions or comments on any of these items? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Human resources, again, if no one objects, I'll take items 9A, B, and C together. I see no objections. I'll list those. We have item A is the ancillary activity worker rates of pay. We have the Resources report and including Human Resources report. And we have a first reading of policy 113.1. Could I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Cruz.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Boyer, for the second. Any questions or comments before we vote? I did have one question about the Human Resources report. I see we had a lot of difficult positions to fill, and I see they are all being filled, which is, kudos to the HR department and administration for finding those folks for it. I did note in the middle school, we have an individual in the language department who will be starting partway through the year. No? We learned today they're coming. I'm sorry, I read this earlier in the day.
Yes, we found out actually this morning that she was released by her district, and she gave us notification that she will be here on Monday.
Well, that is fantastic news. Never mind. So my question was going to be, what substitute special activities do we have those first few months? Excellent news. Our foreign language person will be starting with our students. Great. Thank you so much. That was my only question about what that stopgap was going to be. All right. That's all I had. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstention? All right, motion carries. I would just like to say also that we're welcoming someone to our administration team that we just voted to approve. Mr. Eric Buck will be our new Director of Technology. We have had that opening, and we are very happy to have him coming on. We're not quite sure, but as soon as possible, he will be arriving, and we are happy to see that and welcome him to our. He'll be quite busy with Infinite Campus at the beginning of this year, I'm sure. Committee reports. Item 10. Does anyone have committee reports? I can start. We just passed policy 113, which was the PSBA. Really no changes, brand new policy that was recommended. We discussed that in policy committee, and we had a number of technologically focused policies that were up for review, and we've had a number of various questions that we're getting feedback on, but ultimately between those questions and the fact that we have a new technology director joining us shortly, we wanted to kind of put those on pause until he had a chance to get settled and weigh in on those. So that is my policy committee update. Any others?
Yes. For facilities, we met on last week, on August 6th, sorry. It's been a week. So we met last week. Main thing that we talked about 3 big key areas right now. One that's on everybody's mind is what we're doing about library and auditorium, as Dr. Mann had mentioned, that we're pursuing that. We did take the first step in the RFP process and did have the opportunity to have interviews with 3 firms. And on leaving the meeting, we're going to converse as a committee and as the administration that was there, and with a hope for the report out and meeting or board meeting later this month for an approval for one of these 3 candidates to start proceeding first with a concentration on the library, and then with a focus on looking at what we're going to do with the space in the auditorium and solicit a lot of ideas and feedback from the folks in the building, as well as the theater and arts and some of the other STEM programs that have been talking about the space, and see if we can come up with a collaborative opportunity for all. Moving on, we talked about Dr. Rohrbach, or Mr. Rohrbach, unless you want to be a doctor. Mr. Rohrbach and Mr. Pepe.
Overrated.
We brought us up to speed on what's going on in the HVAC project at the high school. As of right now, everything is still on track for the end of this month, and for AC to be up and back and running in the high school for the return to the building. There was some issues brought up with possible corrosion on some of the piping underneath for the chillers. With that, there's going to be a preventative maintenance review that Mr. Rohrbach and Mr. Pepe are going to be overseeing, as well as a change in our chemical treatment plan to ensure that we're doing all we can to maximize the life out of the pipes. There is no concern at this time right now, as the pipe life is rather young in comparison to what they should last. So they are analyzing that and taking preventative measures to make sure that that does in fact last longer. Liberty Bell chiller update project, that's going to be for next year, but that's going to be taking on. So Mr. Rohrbach brought that up too. You're just a doctor. And so that's on status and on plan for kickoff for next year. Additionally, we were told by Mr. Pepe that fortunately, keep our fingers crossed, we're still in it for some grants for facilities. We haven't been kicked out yet. So hopefully that stays the case and we can actually recoup some of the money for some of these projects that we're putting up. And that's all we pretty much talked about. So, any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Boyer. Any other committee reports?
I have a couple.
Okay, Mr. Carter?
Pa.C.S, we communicated over the summer about an application, and we're scheduled to meet this Wednesday. Ed committee,
I think if you hold it like an inch away from your mouth,
Sorry.
Still no.
look at your display. You're not on mute, try to. Or just raise the microphone. There you go.
Pa.C.S, we communicated over the summer about approval for requests, and we're scheduled to meet again this Wednesday. Ed committee, I'm happy to see the RFP on full day kindergarten. We're looking at a committee schedule. Tentatively, we'd be looking at the first Mondays of the month at 4:30, which would be a half hour later than we were meeting. The RFP includes something that I was happy to see.
Cut out again, Tim.
It's not cool. I'm good.
We'll get Mr. Fluck on this next week.
I was happy to see that the RFP includes a line that says conduct surveys, focus groups, and interviews of key stakeholders, including parents, teachers, administrators, and community members for input on the need and the support for this. And like I said, we will be meeting tentatively first Mondays of the month at 4:30. We're still finalizing that schedule. LCTI, I sent the board some meeting notes, but just for the general public, our next meeting is going to be August 28th. I'll not be able to attend that. They renewed a school-based therapist and social worker, which is all covered by grants. 60 students were served by their student assistance programs, which is a very typical number per year. Their postgraduate surveys went back to the class of 2022, and just under 70% of graduates from the LCTI are employed or pursuing education in their LCTI program. But that was a fantastic number. There's going to be a summit with principals September 18th to 20th. Animal sciences and vet tech will be now expanded to grades 9 to 12. They're switching to a new parent communication system called Parent Square. And I think that's it. Reports.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. All right, moving on to new business. Do we have any new business? Seeing none, we have one item under other business. Do I have a motion to approve the appointment of independent counsel Ellis Katz for work relating to a personnel matter?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Cruz. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Carney. Well, it's a personnel matter. We don't really have questions or comments. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? All right, motion carries. We have two items under information only. Those are professional development conference requests and a field trip request. And moving back to visitor comment, I will check to see if anyone has signed in to speak towards the end of our meeting. I do not see any other requests to speak at the end. If that's incorrect, feel free to just stand up and wave your hand in the audience right now. But since I'm seeing no visitor comments, I am thanking everybody for joining us after this summer hiatus. Oh, sorry, Mr. Carney, yes.
No, I just have two other quick notes. First of all, the foundation funding for innovative grants, as a recipient of some of the grants in Allentown, fantastic that they're doing that. Just, it's not just the money, which teachers always need, but the recognition that comes with it, that you're being recognized for having a creative idea and helping students is fantastic. And also, since our next board meeting won't be until the day that students are starting, and it will be after the staff starts, I just want to wish everybody a successful start to this new school year.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right,
Ms. Gaiman.
Wonderful words. Yes,
I
Ms.
just
Lewis.
wanted to add from the technology committee, we took summer break and we are waiting for the arrival of our new director of technology to meet with this individual as a committee to format when our meetings will pick up. Thank you, Dr. Mayen, for giving an update on Infinite Campus. Student Information System, for those in the audience, is a massive project. It doesn't just happen in a few months. It takes a few years. So everyone on staff, as you noted, teacher leaders and Kelly Katzbach, and I'm sure Dr. Trinkle, your office, Jim in the back. I'm just giving a shout out. It really does take a village, and it will continue to take a village. So once our new director of tech is on board, fully on board, we will reconvene and set a consistent monthly meeting.
Great, thank you very much. Anyone else? All right, in that case, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. Thank you, Mr. Carney.
35 minutes.
We
Second.
are adjourned. The administration took bets on how long this would take, and
The under came through tonight.
the under
The
came
under
through
came
tonight is what I'm hearing. Thank you.